there's people all, 20 yards away from my restaurant, all the way down 13th Avenue from Jefferson to Madison, and that's never happened before.
Joe,
it's disgusting. I mean, they throw their garbage right in the street. There's pee and poop everywhere. I mean,
you haven't seen anything less of that. Have you seen anything less of those incidents happening?
No,
okay.
I came in. There's 3 poops behind my business. I'm going to have to get my employee to clean it. He doesn't want to clean it. I don't blame him. Sometimes nobody's here, so I have to clean it because I have to get rid of the flies. I mean, I have a restaurant, and I don't know why they don't clean up my friggin' street. They cleaned up the street down the way, but there's a dirt lot in the Carnegie Library that's been closed for years. Then they do the next street, and again, there's a dirt lot, and there's a business, maybe 200-300 yards down the road.
All right.
But these are warehouses. I have a friggin' restaurant.
Joe, I have 2 questions for you. Number one, what was your reaction when you heard the city of Phoenix had approved that campsite that is also near your restaurant? And number 2, do you have any high hopes for the trial that gets underway today?
You're asking me questions that I have no idea. Again, the situation is so complicated. But like I've said many, many times, we have to have a shift in our thinking. We have to address this problem because we're not going to have a downtown Phoenix. We're going to have all these beautiful buildings, but we're surrounded by homeless people, and there needs to be some sort of fix. I mean, the mayor's in Taiwan or wherever she is, or an agent, eating sushi. The governor is just down the street. They don't do nothing. And, I don't...
Kate and Katie, they don't do nothing.
People. But the thing is, I'm a restaurant. I want these people to come to my restaurant. I don't want to piss them off and get the politicians pissed off at me. But, hey... I'm frustrated. This has been 3 years and 8 months, and I'm friggin' tired of it. Just stinking friggin' tired of it. It's disgusting.
That's plaintiff number 1 in the zone lawsuit.
I call people. I call the mayor's office. They don't get back. I call
the owner of Old Station Subs.
To help me. Never got back to me. So, again, I don't want to call people out. Like I said, I'm a restaurant owner. I'm supposed to have people come to my restaurant. I don't want to argue with people. I just want to come to my restaurant, cook, go home, and, my wife left. She went to Prescott. She got out of the heat and got away from the situation, you know what I mean? But I can't sell this place. It's a gold mine. But who wants it? I don't blame them. Everybody that comes by says, hey, cute place, great place, cute little place. But God bless that owner, man. I'm out of here. There's no way I want to be in this situation. And I can't blame them.
Once again, Joe Faillace yesterday here on Arizona's Morning News as the trial got underway yesterday. It's day 2 now of the trial where the city of Phoenix is facing off against plaintiffs like Joe Faillace, who insists that the zone has to be cleared up. And reports that we're getting that there are more people living in the zone. Joe didn't confirm that for us, but said that he's seeing more instances and people camping in areas he hadn't seen before. Now,
as I said, they're just moving from the cleared blocks to other blocks.
Their safety.
He pays them well.
Yeah, and having to pick up what he's talking about them having to pick up. I mean, it's awful.
Everybody got to pick up some shit
we'll
sometimes.
Have more on what happened in day 1 of that trial coming up here on Arizona's Morning News. Right now at 5:49, Tom Keebles keeping an eye on the roads for you from the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Thanks. Good morning, Jim. We are starting to see just some regular patches of slowing now on the inbound Interstate 10, eastbound beginning at the Loop 202 South Mountain Freeway, and then again between the Stack Interchange all the way to the tunnel. Just a little bit of extra congestion. They are still clearing that crash. Southbound Interstate 7.
Yeah, I already saw that stuff on Google Traffic. I'm just going to take...
backing things all the way up to Glendale Avenue, and then Circus Street crashes 27th Avenue and Camelback Road, and 51st Avenue north of Indian School Road involving a pedestrian for traffic. Tom Keeble, KTAR News.
111 the high today with a mostly sunny sky.
Oh, my God.
91.
Another brutally hot day.
And mostly
as I step out of the
cooler.
114,
although there is a slight about 10% or so chance that we might see a monsoon storm or rain or wind or dust or something like that later on today. Your weather's brought to you by Howard Air.
Did you know that household debt has surpassed $17 trillion for the first time ever?
So, I wasn't even going to shoot a video, but then once they started talking about that, I'm like, oh, I got to catch that. Wow, that was an amazing interview clip. So I guess it was from yesterday, the morning show yesterday on KTAR. When I mentioned on my vlog a couple days ago that I knew that trial was coming up, and I don't think it's a trial. I think it's a follow-up hearing. The trial, I think, already happened. Although, to be fair, I was following that online and going down to the clerk of court office right when it first started, and I totally dropped the ball on that. It's just my life blew out of proportion. But now it's funny how everything has gone full circle, because I'm going to the Zone like nearly every day to eat, just because I'm that on the edge of homelessness myself, and I'm not doing drugs. I'm not living in a tent and throwing garbage and doing that kind of crazy shit. I'm just going down to the Andre house, getting dinner, going down to St Vincent De Paul, getting lunch. I'm actually thinking about rolling by there right now and seeing when breakfast is. I'm not sure what breakfast is, when breakfast is. Now, if I get down there and find out that breakfast is at like 9 a.m., I'm just going home. But hey, if breakfast is at 6 o'clock, 6:30, I'm right on time. I should have food stamps on my EBT card now, but I think that they said that was supposed to go through on the 6th. In fact, Allison said hers went through on the 6th, and it was funny when she said that to me, because it's like, oh, that's the same day as mine. I'm like, yeah, it's done by last name. She goes, oh. I said the line of code that puts yours on is probably the line directly above the line of code that puts mine on. And I think she's done enough programming to understand what that means. But I mean, I would literally imagine when it goes through the database and it's, that software is doing that. I know it's by last name. That's already been explained to me. And I would imagine that they've got everybody who receives those benefits in order, last name, comma, first name. So A comes before D, and we have the same last name. And I would imagine that her and I are probably the only SNAP recipients with our last name, being that we both have an extremely uncommon last name. So, yeah. Anyway, I still haven't found the EBT card. I've been doing a lot of other stuff than just cleaning my room, although I did make some pretty good headway at it yesterday. Again, the room is just such a mess that the headway is it's kind of hard to tell the progress, because it's that bad. It is. I'm working on it. I am, but trying to get more income going on, trying to handle bills, benefits, whatnot, is way more important. Finally got confirmation that I'm getting paid from Winolo for the 4th. Speaking of Winolo, the Winolo rep was actually there today. Boy, did I get to know him. I mean, I talked to him a little bit at the beginning of the night, and I guess I didn't even firmly understand that he was the Winolo rep. But Winolo had a lot of people there today. I don't know what's going on with the staffing at HelloFresh. So apparently I'm making really good impressions with most of the management, except one manager who abso-fucking-lutely can't stand me. And the general consensus from several other people that work there, that have worked there for a length of time and are not even through temp agencies anymore, they're actual HelloFresh employees. Yeah, they're like, that guy's just dumb and he's a control freak. And the funny thing is, for those who've been following my vlog for a while, about a year ago, probably over a year ago, I was regularly talking about a guy that I had given the nickname Africa No Bottoms, which kind of sounds like a racist thing. It's not. I mean, he's African, not to be confused with African American, but African. So he's got one of those kind of funny accents. Once upon a time, I was kind of a fan of Africa Bambaataa. To be fair, he's only got a couple of songs that I really know, but God, are those great songs. And shit, I remember doing a vlog where I actually made an effort to get Time Zone. It went off at length of what I did to try to get a good video for Time Zone and karaoke for Time Zone, which is the collaboration between Africa Bambaataa and John Lydon, aka Johnny Rotten. Freaking love that song, and I don't think I've done it for karaoke yet. I might have to try it out on my new crowd. I almost kind of forgot I had it, but anyway, that was about the time that Africa No Bottoms kind of came into my life at Amazon. So I had Africa Bambaataa in my head, and it was like, Africa No Bottoms. He has no bottoms on. Who wear these like obnoxious looking Hawaiian shirts where they kind of hung down past his waist because he didn't tuck them in, and he's got a safety vest. He's got an AM red striped safety vest on over it. And then he'd wear these like short shorts that weren't really visible below. So it looked like he's walking around the warehouse wearing no pants. And so I started calling him Africa No Bottoms or just other times just No Bottoms. And people quickly caught on to that. It's like, yeah, it doesn't look like he's wearing any pants, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's not a good management look. Not a really safe thing either. More recent months that I worked at Amazon, I did wear shorts. But that's because I knew I wouldn't be stacking wood pallets. Because I scrapped the shit out of my shin one time with stacking wood pallets. I had one slip and scratched along my shin. And it was like, yeah, I'm not wearing shorts. And that was when I was, the pallet guy. And I'm like, I'm not wearing shorts doing this no more. That's too risky. I need the protection of some jeans. Now, when it got to the point where I was pretty much doing nothing but forklift and TDR with an occasional bit of moving pallet receive around, yeah, I started wearing shorts because why the hell not? But I always wore like cargo shorts, so it didn't look like I was wearing no bottoms. So Africa No Bottoms, I'm just tangent on him. God, I don't remember what the hell his real name was. But yeah, it was a pretty epic thing. Like that guy, I nearly punched him in the face and I just went off and I cussed him out. And this guy, when he first rolled through and the way he was like being like a total control freak, just overly up in people's grills, telling them what to do when they were already pretty much doing that. And from what I could see, they weren't doing anything wrong. Like, just was like, oh my God, it's that guy all over again. And I mean, same thing. I had other people laugh. And I said, what we just saw was a case of short man's disease. Because this guy is about 5'4". Africa No Bottoms was probably about 5'4". And for those who've never heard the term short man's disease, I'm not going to explain it. I'm going to put a link in the description, or at least I'm going to try to. But if it's not there, Google short man's disease. It's one of those terms like pussy magnet that seems to have fallen out of the American linguistic lexicon. I haven't heard that phrase in a long time, short man's disease. And I remember saying that's what Africa No Bottoms had. And this guy tonight, I think his name is Kelsey or Lindsay. Somebody did at one point tell me what his name was. That was the guy that was like, yeah, that guy's a fucking idiot. But his big issue with me, now he said I made a couple mistakes. The one mistake I'm absolutely convinced I didn't make. I watched that box and I think there was a glitch in the system where they allowed too many items to be put in the box, and at one point it just simply didn't fit. Dang, I got a blind corner trying to see to the left on Grant here. So anyway, at one point it just straight up didn't fit, and I saw somebody, and this guy was trying to say, oh yeah, this happens at the end when they box it up, when they seal it, and it was like, no, that didn't happen then. It happened a couple stations, like putting food kits, bagged food into the box where they were realizing they weren't fitting. I saw them pull a bunch of stuff out, and then they had them in a pile, and I'm just thinking one of the ones that I put in, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm reasonably convinced, because I'm just very meticulous in the way I do stuff, just saying. And I saw them pull that stuff out, and yeah, I think it that is not a parking spot right there. It looks like where I parked yesterday might be all filled by the people working this little warehouse on the right and the warehouse on the left. I might need to find myself a different place to park. Of course, I could park in my usual spot. It's I think it's no parking 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and it's pretty much 6 a.m. right now. I don't know if this is private parking here or not. No trespassing violators will be prosecuted. No right turn. This looks like public parking here. All right, that spot's a little tighter than the one up ahead. No trespassing violators will be prosecuted 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. Yeah, it's 6 a.m. And this looks like it's public parking, so I'm gonna park here. Because no way in hell am I parking like right by the zone. And yeah, that's just asking for somebody to fuck with my car. I'm also not leaving my backpack in the visible. Of course, I could wear the backpack. There's a novel concept. She just said 6:03 on the radio. The iPhone says 6:04. By the way, did I mention it's Tuesday, July 11th, 2023? I don't think I did, because I was just so fixated on recording that interview off KTAR regarding the zone. Man, I'd love to go to that hearing today. Second day of that hearing, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of Googling and see what time it is, because part of me is really tired and should be going to sleep, because I worked all night long and I was up like reasonably early yesterday. But part of me would really love to go into the Superior Court and watch this hearing, even though I can't go in there and record. Love to watch it. Of course, I could park in my usual spot. It's I think it's no parking 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and it's pretty much 6 a.m. right now. I don't know if this is private parking here or not. No trespassing violators will be prosecuted. No right turn. This looks like public parking here. All right, that spot's a little tighter than the one up ahead. No trespassing violators will be prosecuted 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. Yeah, it's 6 a.m. And this looks like it's public parking, so I'm gonna park here. Because no way in hell am I parking like right by the zone. And yeah, that's just asking for somebody to fuck with my car. I'm also not leaving my backpack in the visible. Of course, I could wear the backpack. There's a novel concept. She just said 6:03 on the radio. The iPhone says 6:04. By the way, did I mention it's Tuesday, July 11th, 2023? I don't think I did, because I was just so fixated on recording that interview off KTAR regarding the zone. Man, I'd love to go to that hearing today. Second day of that hearing. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of Googling and see what time it is, because part of me is really tired and should be going to sleep because I worked all night long and I was up like reasonably early yesterday. But part of me would really love to go into the Superior Court and watch this hearing, even though I can't go in there and record. Love to watch it. And then maybe go up to the top of the Central Court Tower and see if my old buddy Ken still works up there. And God, I want to order a recording of the whole hearing, but I don't know. I'm taking the backpack with me. Part of my brain is still wanting to put the backpack in the trunk, and the other part of me is like, no, you're taking it with you, fool, remember? Yeah, taking it with me. That makes me look oh, do I look like I belong in the zone or not? I don't know. I try to keep myself cleaner than most of the people down there. I don't think I've ever walked through this way. Digging that mural. That's cool. Cacti and 420 South 7th Avenue. That's awesome. That's quality art right there. I'm loving that. Some natural desert trees. One of my phones is ringing. Oh, maybe there's a guy up on the... I could hear a phone ringing, but I think it's the guy up there. Oh, that's what's going on. That guy up on the bridge is pushing a Lime scooter, and it's locked, and he hasn't rented it, and the alarm is going off. That's what I was hearing. He's still making it go, sort of. Oh well, I don't work for Lime anymore. Not my problem. And I would love to work for Lime. Did I mention I went to their website to see what jobs are available? It's all just stuff with job descriptions that just sound like Greek to me. And I was disappointed because I was hoping like one of the job offers would be driving around one of their vans swapping out batteries. And I wouldn't expect that to pay more than $16 an hour. And I wouldn't even care. It'd just be fun to be working for Lime again. All right, these tracks are curving, and that's not the direction I'm trying to walk. Taking those old tracks over there, that's kind of neat. Wow, that just reminded me of a video that I had on my old YouTube channel that I'm assuming it was on my old YouTube channel. Maybe it's on this YouTube channel. My old YouTube channel was called Dan the Taxi Man. Had just shy of 10,000 viewers when it got nuked for copyright violations because I had Tool videos on it. And there were Tool videos that were also on other YouTube channels that they were allowing. Because, there's a lot of official videos on unofficial channels. I have another channel on YouTube that's pretty much all it is. And one of the things that I put on the Dan the Taxi Man channel, anyway, so I had these Tool videos, and I noticed that pretty much all the other ones that were posted were in the wrong aspect ratio, or the audio was not so good, or the resolution was really low, or a combination of all those flaws. None of them were particularly good quality. And since I have all those videos on the Salival DVD, I went ahead and ripped them directly from the Salival DVD at a really high bit rate so I could get really good quality. For those who don't know, DVD, you think I would know it off the top of my head, but I don't. But DVD has an odd resolution, and whether it's widescreen or whether it's 4:3, that's accomplished by the player either making the pixels narrower than square or wider than square. And a lot of software that rips DVDs just rips the pixels and turns them into square pixels with the resultant file, which in the case of a 4:3 video, which I think all the tool videos were, it ends up being kind of stretched out wider than it should be. And in the case of a 16:9 video, it ends up getting scrunched in narrower than it should be. And what I did to get the best quality results, because the horizontal pixels are scrunched in, oh man, sorry, I'm having trouble wrapping my head around the numbers and stuff of it. I did the numbers on it, and it ends up being a higher resolution. It seems like I came up with a higher resolution than 480p. Not a whole lot higher, but higher nonetheless. And then what I did with the resultant file was I didn't upscale it per se, but I up-converted it to not 720p, because 720p would be 1280 by 720 at a 16:9 aspect ratio. But I did whatever would give you a 4:3 aspect ratio with 720 pixels high. I don't know that number off the top of my head. When I'm sitting working on the video stuff, like I have those settings saved in my Pizzera video file converter. So anyway, it wasn't a true 720p file, but it ended up rendering, it uses the 720p streaming on YouTube. And these videos look hands down were the best looking tool videos on YouTube. And they weren't the ones that got the most views, because the ones that were there first got the most views. But somebody that did some hunting around was like, okay, this is crap quality. If they landed on mine, and I think I probably had in the title in parentheses best quality. Of course, a lot of people that don't have the best quality file put that on their file name, so it doesn't always mean anything. But yeah, I was getting views on them, and there was never a problem. And of course, it matched as copyright, and they're like, oh, blah blah blah. They'll run ads will run on it. It'll go to the copyrights holder. Never had a problem with that. By all means. Let Maynard get his money. But I just wanted them to be out there in good quality as a Tool fan. So when I want to go on YouTube and watch some Tool videos, they were there. Shortly before Fear Inoculum came out, when Tool finally put all their videos and all their music out for streaming on their own channel, they decided to just give copyright violations to anybody who had those videos, regardless of how long they had those videos on their channel, without issue. Everybody who had them got flagged for copyright violations, and was like given a certain amount of time to like remove them. I didn't get that memo until way late, because that was when I was doing. I don't even think I was doing karaoke at that time. I think that was like right after I'd quit doing karaoke and was just doing like 80 hours a week of Lime, just doing Lime around the clock, racking up that money. And by the time I found out, it was too late and my channel was gone. And it was just like, damn. But there was a video on it. I was thinking about it because I'm just surrounded by all this train stuff. Looks like we got a Phoenix cop over there. There's lights on over there. Probably wondering what I'm doing. I'm just walking around talking to myself. Because I know if I kind of walk where the tents are, people will get irate if they see me walking through with a cell phone. So I want to get the story of what it was. But anyway, so I'm not sure if that video is on that channel or if it's on this channel. It might be on this channel. But anyway, my nephew, who was only like 11 at the time, I think, my nephew Jack, had made this video about how he likes trains. And it had like all his toy train, like he was showing all his toy trains to somebody. And God bless him for having his own YouTube channel at 11. Like, it was really cool, and I was proud. And it seemed like I was making fun of Jack, and maybe I was kind of taking the piss out of him. But but I loved that he was doing his own YouTube channel at 11 years old. That was amazing. That's my nephew, Jackie Rock. Damn, he's probably an adult now. I haven't seen him in a while. So at the same time, my daughter Lily, who's living with me full time, was also kind of obsessed with trains, but she was also obsessed with the ASTF movies. If you've never seen the ASDF movies, I'm trying to put a link to that in the description as well. It's just some animated, chaotic stuff. It's just straight YouTube nonsense. And there's this recurring theme through all of the ASDF movies where this one little stick figure is like, I like trains, and then sometimes it's followed by like a train running somebody over or whatever, but just out of the middle of nowhere, they'll just be suddenly, I like trains. And so I did this remix of sorts between the I like trains segments of the ASDF movies. And this is why I'm just kind of learning how to edit video using the Wondershare video editor. And I did this remix of I like trains along with my nephew Jack's video where he's showing off his trains, which was vertical video. And then I ended it with this, and I mixed in also some segments about, vertical video is wrong. And then I had it transition into this music video that somebody made about how you should turn your phone so you don't shoot vertical video. I don't think it got that many views, but it was, I didn't see that sign. I was violating that one. Didn't see that sign coming in the direction I did. My bad. Anyway, I gotta find out if I still have that video. It'd be tragic if it was on my old YouTube channel and it got taken down and I just don't have another archive of it anywhere, which is possible, very possible. But sorry, I'm just thinking I like trains, and I'm looking at those tracks over there, and it just reminded me of that. That was a fun project. Anyway, I'm heading to see if I can get breakfast. It's got a couple more blocks to walk to get into the Human Services campus, and I will say more about Africa No Bottoms 2.0 later, because it was interesting to say the least.